back to this already, the final segment of the Price of Business for us today. Delighted to be able to talk to you about you and your business. I am your host, Kevin Price, spending some time with my friend Charles Alvarez. He comes in every week with his own unique perspectives of what's happening in business. Charles is with Cornerstone Business Academy, phenomenal organization, a growth leader for individuals in sales and marketing consulting. And I know firsthand because I've seen what he's done for companies that I'm personally involved in, and it's really earth-shattering what he does. And I'm always delighted to see you, Charles.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Always good to be on the show.
CornerstoneBusinessAcademy.com. Want to make sure the listener has that. Who's your guest today? Tell us about him.
Really excited about having Bill Aimone, who's a managing partner at a firm that he helped found, which is called Trenegy. And I'm really excited to hear about how he's adding tremendous amount of value, speaking of consulting, to CFOs and the financials of energy companies in Houston. So, Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Bill, real quick, kind of tell us your elevator speech, if you will.
Well, Trenegy, we were founded about 4 years ago. We are a management consulting firm. We equip companies for growth and change.
Yeah, which is really better than hope and change.
Exactly.
I mean, I would always prefer growth and change. Now about the only change I have left is in my couch. I'm doing the best I can to get it out of there. Anyway, I like that. And but your specialty, especially in the energy arena.
Yes, in particular oil and gas. We work with a lot of exploration and production companies, oil field service companies, and anyone supplying equipment to the oil and gas environment.
Charles?
So last time I checked, there's one or two management consulting companies in Houston that cater to the energy space. Is that correct?
Wow, you're sarcastic. That's my job.
Right, but there's very few that do what we do the way we do it.
Tell us more about that.
Well, our main competitors are the larger consulting firms, and so when you reach out to one of them, they'll have a complex solution that they'll create and try to sell to a client. And most of our clients call us because they need simple, quick answers. So a lot of our work is done around helping a company reduce costs, helping a company to improve their processes and become more efficient.
Very interesting. Who are, is there a typical size range of clients that are sweet spots for you?
All the way from, I'll say the middle market companies, so companies with $500 million in revenue and above. We do have some clients that are in the Fortune 100, but for the most part, it's the middle market.
Okay.
Charles?
So give us an example of it, and of course, if there's confidential, you can't say the name of the client, that's fine, but kind of give us an idea of how you go about delivering that value to your client base that really helps them become more profitable.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So we had a client come to us, and they grew through acquisition. So it was basically an amalgamation of several well services companies that came together. Private equity firm pulled them together and said, we need a consistent business process, a consistent systems across our company. And they asked us to come in and assess what they need and how they need to organize the business and what systems they need to put in. So we actually helped them with selecting an ERP system, and then actually help them put that in, and then in addition to that, help them structure their business model so that they can be successful and meet the growth demands in that sector.
How do you begin an engagement with a potential client?
That's a good question.
We're not even sure. No, I'm just joking.
How do we begin?
Yeah.
So a lot of it is they'll come to us and say, we've got a problem. And can you come solve this specific problem? So we can't get information from the field. So an oil field services company has operations all across the country, and we can't get information from the field. Okay. Help us solve that. So we'll come to them and we'll craft an approach that says, here's a 4-week process. We can help you figure out what you need to do and how you need to prioritize your issues.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Charles?
And so once you leave a client, how do they know that, okay, we hired Trenegy, they came in, they did X. How do they know that what they hired you for actually resulted in the result that they were looking for?
That's a good question.
Well, yeah, so excuse me. If you think about it, we will come in and we'll help them design, but we'll also help them implement. Okay. And then we'll also be there after implementation to help them see the value of what they expected initially. So to start, we'll go. Let's say, for example, we'll help. I can't even talk. We'll help.
You just developed a speech impediment right here on the radio.
I know. Thank you. Hopefully, you'll cut this out. Anyway, they'll ask us to select a new ERP package. And then they'll say to us, can you help us actually implement this and bring this solution? We don't have people internally to help make this happen. Help us manage this project. So we'll actually help them through that whole implementation process. Well, the implementation is not done until the success has been achieved, until they can get the information. So there's a whole testing process we take our client through. And then there's the implementation and the rollout, and then we'll help them after the fact. So a lot of our clients all of them are references for us, and they will, and frankly, that's how we get a lot of our business is through repeat business and referrals.
How big of a role, then, with that in mind, if you were to rate it from a scale of 0 to 10, how important is relationship in your business?
Well, it's the most important. I mean, so when you say relationship, I'll say the oil and gas sector is too small to have a bad relationship or have a bad client. Everything needs to be executed flawlessly. So relationships are important.
Very important. Go ahead, Charles.
So tell us about what you see, some of the challenges that are facing the oil and gas industry, and some of the unique challenges. Like, in other words, if you can give us hey, if you're having challenges with these issues, this is what Trenegy is uniquely positioned in the marketplace to help with.
Yeah, so and maybe kind of reflecting back, we talked earlier, a lot of the oil and gas companies operations are all over the country, all over the world. And the challenge always is to have a means of getting information from the field and getting it to your investors or getting it to the management team. How do I do that, and how do I effectively do it without errors, without delays? And how do I get that to the board of directors of companies as well?
Now, what would you tell the CFO who says, you know what, we don't get information as fast as we can. We could probably, do a little bit better in operations, but, we have to spend all this money and all this time and energy implementing this stuff. Shouldn't we just stick to our Excel spreadsheets and our latent, energy information systems? What would you tell that CFO?
Well, the first question I'd ask him is, does he trust all the numbers, and he's ever had any mistakes? Typically, Excel spreadsheets have errors in them, and companies will find those. Usually what we'll find is we'll go implement a new solution for a client, and they'll go back and try to reconcile it back to the spreadsheets, and they'll find the errors in there. That's the first question. The second question is, do you want your people spending all their time pulling data together, or do you want them actually analyzing the business and understanding where the business should be going?
How large is your firm?
We have 25 people right now here in Houston. Everybody's based here in Houston.
Okay. Charles?
Which is a pretty significant consulting firm. I absolutely know the industry very well, so that's actually a very good-sized consulting firm. So tell us about, as far as the oil and gas industry, does your firm seem to do better when the economy is good, when the oil markets are good, or when they're bad, or kind of a little bit of both?
It's a mix of both. I will say, all in all, we tend to do better when things are bad, and there's two reasons why. One is our customers, our clients, are looking for ways to cut costs and be more efficient when times are bad. Second, our competitors are the larger, bigger firms. They tend to cost more, and they're looking for a simple, quick answer, not a complex, high-cost answer. So, and also when times are bad, the executives have more time to address those. Usually when times are good, they're blowing and going. They don't have time to even address internal things. They're looking at the top line. So
when I look at the whole energy industry, there's so many different aspects of it. Are there certain parts that are more attracted to consulting firms like yours than others?
Yeah, I'll just call it's the whole upstream piece. So it's exploration, production, oil field services.
Got it. Final thoughts on your part, Charles, before I let you guys go?
Yeah, one other thing is what I find is very interesting is you're exactly right. You're competing against people, the bigger consulting firms that bring in literally an army to come in and implement something. So, I like what you said at the very beginning, which is you're looking to, a lot of those firms are looking to sell their CFOs on a product, where what you're trying to talk to CFOs is how do we solve issues to become more profitable? Is there anything else that if a CFO is out there listening that you would be like, you really need to understand the differences of how we work versus the consulting firms, because that is a key differentiator that I see in your business.
Yeah, I'll just say one particular...
About 15 seconds.
One particular area we did not address was the whole planning and forecasting and how does business look forward. And so that's part of what we address as well. So that's something they need to be thinking about today, too.
All right. Good way to end it, too. Very, very quick on your feet, by the way. Trenegy is the name of the company. William Aimone. That's right, William Aimone. Bill is what we called him, Bill, today. And, of course, he's here with Charles Alvarez. And delighted to have you guys both on the show. Great job. Thanks for letting us learn about your company.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back tomorrow, we're going to have much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. Have a great day and spend it right here.